Here's a rundown of the key points from Quiz 4. So, Tiberius Gracchus's land bill. There are two major things to bear in mind here. First of all, the content of the bill involves the redistribution of public land that had been illegally amalgamated into large estates by the wealthy. This redistribution of land was to create larger numbers of farming citizens who would meet the property requirements for service in the military. But of course, those who were holding on to the land and who had created these amalgamated estates objected to the breaking up of territory that was mandated by this bill. And because this was public land owned by the people, they didn't have standing to object to having their land being taken away. The way that the bill was passed involved Gracchus presenting the bill directly to the assembly without first presenting it to the Senate, which had become customary. By bypassing the Senate, he was flouting custom and deliberately snubbing the Senate. Essentially, this is isolating the Senate as being on the other side of the people and being opposed to the interests of the people, which is at the heart of the movement of the populares, which sees its emergence as a political force during this period. In what ways did Mithridates' uprising in the East impact on political affairs in Rome? There are two aspects of this. First of all, when Mithridates massacres all these Romans and Italians in Asia Minor, setting off the crisis, one of the consuls of the year, namely Sulla, is given the command against Mithridates. But because Sulla is identified with the Optimates, the populist faction objects to Sulla having such a critical command, even though he is the consul, and this is part of the job of the consuls, to lead Rome's armies against Rome's enemies. And so a bill is forced through the assembly to take the command away from Sulla, the legitimate consul of the year, and give it to Marius, who is a private citizen. This in turn leads to conflicts of the forum, and then disorder, and then riots. And the riots spread throughout the city, and there's a great deal of confusion, pandemonium, and terror. Reports even begin to circulate that the other consul of the year has been injured or killed. And so the situation getting out of hand, Sulla, who is not in Rome but nearby, training his troops for the command against Mithridates, marches on Rome and takes the city in order to restore law and order. But of course, by bringing a legion under arms past the Pomerium and entering the city himself as its general, Sulla has broken religious law, and the march on Rome creates a terrible precedent. So that's the first part of this. The second part of this is that Sulla then goes to fight Mithridates, and while he's away, the populist faction led by Marius and his ally Cinna take Rome by coup, and during the whole period of Sulla's absence is ruling over Rome as a revolutionary one-party government. Finally, the coda to this, Sulla has to rush home in order to restore the Republic. But he's unable to do this because Mithridates is too resourceful and wily an enemy to be easily defeated. And so Sulla has to arrange a truce with Mithridates in order to rush home to Italy and retake Rome. This leaves Mithridates in the field and as an active enemy of the Romans in Asia Minor for the next couple of decades, until he's finally defeated by Pompey during Pompey's mission to the east. Important populares included all the following. Well, Marius, a famous leader of the populares, Tiberius Gracchus, who we've talked about, and Cinna is Marius's ally. So Marius and Cinna are the ones that take Rome while Sulla is away. Sulla, leader of the Optimates, leader of the conservative faction, is the odd man out here. What was the Senate's ultimate decree, also known as the Senatus Consultum Ultimum? This is the resolution passed by the Senate on several occasions, beginning with the Gracchus crisis, in which the Senate calls upon the consuls to take whatever action is necessary in order to restore peace in Rome. The thing about the ultimate decree is the Senate doesn't have the authority to indemnify the consuls, which means that the ultimate decree doesn't actually do anything other than tell the consuls that there's a big problem and they need to fix it. It seems to give the consuls a blank check, but it doesn't actually do so. And in fact, there's a couple of occasions where the consuls act to restore order pursuant to the ultimate decree, and yet are still held liable for the unconstitutional actions that they took while addressing the crisis. So the Senate's ultimate decree is representative of the way that the Senate has a kind of authority and speaks for the heritage of Rome. And yet, even at this point in Roman history, though its opinion matters a great deal, it is simply an advisory body. And that's the end of the quiz. Email me if you have any questions.